what we actually started. Okay, so I got a couple of things for you. So today we're doing the hot seat, which is your LinkedIn. I didn't fully prep for it, so I'm just gonna wing it.
When do we ever?
When do we ever? Exactly. And that should be on our portion of like everything that we release. We never prep for this. This is why it's not a podcast.
I prep for like client work, as I'm sure you do too, but when it comes to my stuff or things, it's like, no, it's so much better candid. That's why we do it like this.
Yes. And also like, I mean, like this one was so hot. And I think with our conversation, it just flows out, but also because like, this is a hot seat for your LinkedIn. I was just like, I think I'm good. Like,
it's your wheelhouse. So you got this.
Let's see. So I'll give you the audit first, and then I do have a proposition for you. I said the same thing to Steven. He just made fun of me. I do have a proposition.
He makes fun of everybody. I'm getting the feeling.
Huh?
I think Steven makes fun of everybody.
I know. But it's just the way that I said it. Because the first thing I said, because I couldn't find the word proposition, was I have a thing for you. Then I was like, what is the word? And so like he just made fun of that. And then I was like, wait, no, like proposition. It's like, oh, proposition.
You would.
I know. He's hilarious. I know you keep moving your stuff with him because he won't take like late meetings, but you got to meet him at some point.
We had one meeting. It was fantastic, and then so he like immediately booked another one, and we've just both like he had to bump it, and then I had to bump it, and then I was like, I'm not doing 4 a.m. So I'll probably end up having to just do 4 a.m., which is fine. I'm still in Argentina time somehow, so I keep waking up.
You could also do it when you move away from PST. That's really your problem, is you're in PST. PST is like the worst time zone in the history that's ever been created.
It really is. It really is. It wouldn't be so bad if they would stop messing with daylight savings and just leave it alone. Even mountain time's better.
That too. Like, seriously. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. So like I said, I'll go through this with you. And then I do have something, because I did also pull up the SMP, so the social media planner that I created. I didn't have time either, so it's not like it's just a thing, but I just have a proposition for that as well. So,
all right.
Okay.
I'm game. Let's hear it.
Awesome. So the banner we've already talked about. I know you're going through a what do you call this? Rebranding.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Refocusing.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you haven't done it yet, just because I'm looking at this right now. It looks exactly the same. What's your timeline? Do you have one?
Are we talking about my website? Why is that not showing my new website? Actually, you brought up an issue I didn't even know I was having.
No, they have the right URL link. Star Creative. Steer. Oh my gosh, I gotta stop
Steer
saying
Creative.
Yeah. SteerCreative.com.
People say it both ways. I knew that was going to happen.
But I gotta stop saying it. I was like, I feel like I've known this. But is this the new website? I don't think so, right? Because this looks just like your old one.
Let me see. Let me go back to your screen. Okay. Going up. It is. I reworded the whole thing and restructured a little bit. So scroll down. Yeah, this is the revised. It's actually a lot different than my old one. I didn't toss everything out. I just reworded and put new copy and things and restructured a little bit. I need to fix the blogs and stuff because those are old and I haven't bothered to write anything new for a long time. Yeah, there's one-on-one consulting. Yeah, 2 ways to work together. Collab.
Well, because I've seen this. So when was the last time that you put this together? When was the last time you changed it?
Shoot, it's probably been 3 weeks to a month ago now.
Okay, then I did look at it after that. Because I've seen this, yeah. So that's why. But is this like the extent of your branding, or like are you changing like more than, okay, I know like we talk about how branding is more than just your logo and your colors, but
oh, I see where we're going off. Yeah. Yes. So I probably shouldn't have said changing brands. Messaging directions is what I have been updating mostly. Brand collateral is staying pretty much the same up to this point. Yeah, I'm not really doing a huge rebrand on any of that as of yet. It's message and positioning as far as that goes, that I'm actually changing that side of the verbal branding, which that's a fair call out. Not a lot of people get that because messaging is part of your branding. It's just usually gets lumped in with marketing.
Okay, I just wanted to check. because I was just like, all right, because that's
Cool.
really important because social is very visual. So unless you're just gonna do a bunch of text only, it does matter
Got
for how you represent yourself visually and everything. So I would say go ahead and update this banner.
it. Mhm.
Your profile picture looks good. It's fine. You can do whatever you want there. I would update this since you're updating your messaging and positioning. I should see something different on this later. I would prefer that you do it because this is your realm. But if you want, I can still give you feedback. The biggest thing for me is this first part right here. It just really needs to be the strongest.
Okay.
Right, like whatever you think will capture people's attentions, because I have, and I don't know, like look at it from your perspective as well, but I know for sure for me, I have clicked on certain things that people like comment on because of their headlines specifically, with
Mhm.
whatever that says. That's like been the number one thing for me. So just make that really, really strong.
What do you find is the most catching on that as far as, and I'm not asking you to do it for me,
Yeah.
but just in general, like as a rule, because I know that's the first thing people see. Um, what do you see having the most impact? Is it direct? Like, for instance, I do X, Y, and Z, like we're a medical services provider in this field. Or is it like something a little bit more abstract? Like mine's an abstract statement, strategy plus business therapy. Nobody knows what that is. It's not a thing. It's something I made up because it's what I get compared to a lot. Because I'm not a therapist, but
Yeah.
I end up being a sounding board for my clients most of the time. So anyway, just direct or abstract, what do you see being more effective as far as interactions and the results that you drive for your clients?
Usually direct, I will say that. I will also say I'm starting to. So I have a list of swipe files for a lot of things. I don't have one specifically for headlines. I am starting to do it. A big thing for me is just having it stand out in some way. So I really like the plus here because that's a little bit different. So emojis also tend to work sometimes. It depends on the emojis that you do. But also direct. So like the one that I clicked on, I can show it to you. There's another one that I actually just saved just now. I'm going to read it to you. It says doing 1 million plus in ecom question mark. Because you're calling out your target audience immediately. You know, they know exactly who it's for. And they're not playing around. The other one,
It is and it isn't. I like that, but it also poses it as a question because you don't know what they do yet, but it's doing 1 million. So you know they work somewhere in the econ space, and it's safe to assume it's something in regards to scaling, which is the biggest buzzword in the world right now. Scaling, scaling, scaling. We help you scale. I scale. We scale. Scale 10 million. Scale 20 million. 10x is the one that finally is starting to die. We help you 10x. Like, what does that mean? Stop it. I go off on these rants, but I'm like, can we all stop using the same language? If we're all using it, then nobody makes any sense anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one I did save, but the other one, L, here is this one, the headhunting top 1% of Philippine talent. This was the one that I bought that $5,000 thing. And he just funneled me through. It was insane. I saw this. And actually what caught my eye more than anything was this medal. If it wasn't for this, I don't know if I would have clicked on it, to be really honest.
Because whenever I put something through chat or any AI, I always scold it. I'm like, stop giving me emojis and icons. I don't want them.
I don't know why, but this emoji perfectly fit it. Like I'm telling you, I would have ignored them without it. So, but I've been trying to figure out like how they funneled me so well because basically I clicked on this. It was exactly what I wanted. I said, okay, if I can have the top 1% of Filipinos working for me, that would be freaking amazing. And then I went to their website, booked a call with them. On the call, I basically talked to him for like 5 minutes. I'm just like, if you would want to have me as a client, like take my money. I haven't even asked how much.
Okay. So yeah, and that's worked out for you. Like you're still feeling good about it. Like, yeah, this is great.
It was one of the best purchases I've ever done.
I love how direct that dude was too. Like that's not even, there's so many, not social boundaries, but what am I trying to say? It's not PC either. And it's not PC, but he's just like, just blew through so many security gates, just like, doesn't matter. This is what I'm saying. This is what we're doing. And you're like, I'm here for it. That makes sense. Sign me up for that.
Yeah. And I think it's because it was just so direct. It's like headhunting the top 1% of Filipinos. I'm just like, that's exactly what I want on my team. So I guess it's just like, what is something that you really like someone would really want from you, and then make it stand out. Like make that first part really stand out. And like I said, there's the plus in the other one. There's also a number. His also has a number.
100%.
So make it stand out. Make it so that it doesn't look like everybody else's. Don't say helping. My gosh, like this is fine in the end, but don't say it at the front. Because everybody does it.
Well, the phrase that, again, I just went off on, we help you scale. Helping founders scale to.
Yeah.
Helping entrepreneurs scale their potential. Scale and helping. Yeah, I hadn't even noticed the word helping in there, but that's actually a huge subconscious. Nope, don't want it, don't do it.
Yeah. So, like I said, you can.
And I'm using it right there in mine. Helping owners replace.
You are, but just don't use it at the front because it's the one that people see. Like everything else, honestly, doesn't 100% matter. But I would say, like from here, I think this is what they can see. So for sure, the first part they can see that, and so you really want to make sure that that's very strong. I would say less abstract works better for people clicking into your profile and just having something that stands out. So even you just having this plus works really, really well. I think number works really well here too. Emojis, depending on the emoji that you use, can work, but just really be careful with it of what you want it to be. But other than that, I can definitely give you pointers like after you've done it. The reason that I don't want to help you with it is because this is your realm. Like you literally do messaging and everything. I don't. I take other people's messaging and I put it on there for them, but they already know what it is, but I don't help people figure it out. So I think because you're still kind of figuring out your wording, your messaging, I can just give you like once you're finished, I can just say, okay, I don't know if this is strong enough, or have you tried this, or would you be willing to do this? But I don't want to be the one to say you should do it this way. I think that should be you.
I totally get that. I appreciate that. Remind me to come back to a story on that note too, because this is what you do, helping people with messaging. It's like, it is what I do. I don't create their brand. I help them enhance their brand. I help them clarify who they are, what they do, and what they offer. But then I had somebody tell me, they're like, well, you're in operations. And I was like, I am, but again, people don't get that side of it because I'm pre-marketing, post-sales. So I'm in ops and I'm in branding at the same time. People are like, how does that go together? I had one of the most validating conversations I've ever had a couple weeks ago. So remind me to tell you about that sometime because that was really cool.
Definitely. No, I mean, we can even cover it later once we're done. I mean, this is going to be a very quick audit because you don't really have a lot. So I'm basically just going to tell you what to change. Like I said, go ahead and add that. We can always change, and I can give you the Canva link as well. Actually, that's something that we can do so that you can change it yourself if you just want to change the messaging. If you have a problem with the design or you rebrand, then you can give it back to us.
Okay, cool. No, yeah, you can send me the link and I can dump it up on the banner. That's totally fine.
We'll do that. The second thing, actually like 3 things here, especially since you have the LinkedIn thing, the LinkedIn premium, which I still think you are wasting right now. So let's fix that.
I have been doing a ton of direct messaging campaigns lately, so it's paying off right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
For $49 a month, it's a win. I never run out of message capabilities. Actually, that's not true. I spent it and I ran out of InMail credits, and I was like, oh well, who cares? I'm not targeting people that I can only use InMail on, so I'm fine.
Well, at least that's working for you. I meant profile-wise, you're wasting it.
100%. I agree. I actually forgot that I had it, and then I was going to get rid of it, and then I was like, no, I actually need it for all the messaging I'm getting ready to ramp up. So,
no, that's good. So, just having your follower count here as well. You can hold off on that if you want.
No, I want to do it because I want to actually have more. I want to push people towards following me more than I want to push towards connecting. It's not that I don't love having a network, but I want to, for what I'm pushing on next, I need, tell me if I'm wrong, but I need the social validation of the following count going up. And so if it makes it easier for people to follow me, the better.
Absolutely. So the biggest thing, so the reason that I said, if you want, you can hold off on it is because you are doing a lot of outreach right now, like direct outreach, which is great. But because there's no posts coming out right now.
No, I've been, guilty. You even created that awesome schedule, and I was like, no, I'm going to get on this. Yeah, that's not the only thing that has gone by the wayside in my personal business over the last 3 weeks, but that is definitely one of them. I was like, well, I'm kind of a jerk because you did a really nice job on that schedule.
Well, that's why I'm going to have a proposition for you.
I had a feeling it was tied to that.
But yeah, so basically we can definitely, but we need to make sure that if you are going to have that follower account, you are posting content because it's connections is more for what you're doing right now. But
Mhm.
follower count is when you're actually posting content and have something to say to people.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, okay, if you want to hold off on it, we can, because like
Following me for the sake of following me, I mean, it's like I've referenced before, it's not MySpace anymore, right?
yeah.
People aren't trying to make it in my top 8.
Gosh, the top 8. Oh my god, I barely remember that. Okay, so let's keep going. And I'm kind of going in and out because I'm not sure what like the note taker is picking up, and I'm not sure what the recording is picking up, and I just want to make sure that we have some kind of footage just in case it's only getting the screenshot itself.
Cool.
And then the last thing is, yeah, just having like the follower here, and then your website or just any call to action. It doesn't have to be your website. It could be book a call with you, it could be something, but just like a direct call to action that people can actually click on that you want them to go to. It should be your main call to action.
I meant to ask you about this because I actually put all of that on my LinkedIn a while back and it's not there anymore. So I don't know if LinkedIn takes the liberty of rearranging your pages for you or if I am just tripping and I never did it. But I remember I was like, yeah, I got to have my website on here. I want to have people to connect with me. I have obviously I've got my contact info up there.
Yeah, so it would look like this. And then basically like if you hit this profile thing button, it should be underneath. This is what the one that pops up there.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually only for LinkedIn premium users, unless you were grandfathered in, because it used to be a free thing. That's why I couldn't find it for other people. Because I was just like, oh, like, why does mine have it? But like nobody else like could find it. And I was just like, oh, like you have to have the LinkedIn premium, or you would have had to have done it before they made it a LinkedIn premium feature. So
yeah, because I swear I used to have it on there because I was trying to drive traffic to my website from my LinkedIn, which is kind of obsolete anyway. But once upon a time, I was, put it that way, before I abandoned my LinkedIn again.
well, I don't know what happened to it. I know LinkedIn will not just, unless like maybe the change that they made affected it.
That's
like,
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But I can't say for sure.
Yeah. But definitely fix that to your strongest call to action, because that is like one of the, like, to me, I didn't have to look for their website. I just clicked on their website through that link. So whenever they funneled me in, right? So they had the headhunting the top 1% of Filipinos. And then I went to their LinkedIn, I saw their banner, and then I clicked through their website.
Well, the best CX removes any friction points in the process. So if you had to go find it, that's a thought barrier. Like, I got to go find it. I got to go on an Easter egg hunt here. Where's it going to be? You got to find their website. So if you have to work harder to pursue the goal, it's bad CX. It's a bad customer experience. It's bad UX. And so I tell it because people are like, well, it's not that bad. And they have to fill out this form. And then they go here and do that. And then I pre-screen it because then I know they're serious. I'm like, or they could have been a good client anyway. But you ask anybody online to put that kind of mental energy into what they have to do to get a hold of you. No.
Yes.
That's CX.
Agreed. So yeah, definitely fix that. It's like you know what to do. I just love reminding you. I love the point though. So yes, honestly, like I don't even know if I would say anything. I think I could only say it on the positive side. Like what they did was good CX, sure, but it was a good sales funnel. Like it's a good marketing and sales funnel. Like what they're doing, like with all of their stuff, it's basically like their entire profile is very well done. Their entire structure is very well done, and they're also posting, which is also really well done. But yeah, I couldn't believe they funneled me through just like that, to be really honest. And I didn't even see their post. I saw their comment. So that's the other thing I'll tell you. Sorry?
A whole nother strategy, the parallel comments, which I was actually just on a meeting this morning and I heard that is what's coming through more. So people have been posting and their feeds are starting to get shadowed, but their comments are showing up. I was on a meeting on a group call with 2 people this morning. And that's what they said. They're like, hey, I don't see your stuff anymore. And they're like, yeah, I don't see your stuff anymore either. They're like, but I do see you whenever you comment on these people's stuff, all of a sudden you pop up. So LinkedIn is really pushing the interaction in the comments.
Absolutely.
I learned inadvertently. It wasn't obviously because it's not my wheelhouse, but I was like, oh, that's really interesting to take note of. Which I know that you really push that, hey, engage through comments. Don't engage just by posting and trying to be a thought leader, but engage through other people's posts with the people that are engaging because that's your crowd.
Exactly. And actually, I think this was the one when you weren't there yet. I did an entire 3-minute educational teach on commenting specifically, like how to do it faster, how to do it better. Yeah, I think you weren't there.
I wasn't. I was supposed to be there, and then I was told that I wasn't in yet, and then they were like, "Hey, where are you? Are you coming to the meeting?" And I was like, "You guys told me I wasn't approved. It was a closed group today, so I scheduled other stuff."
Yeah. So anyway, I can repeat it. It's fine. It was 3 minutes. I think I went over by like 2 minutes, but I can repeat everything as far as like commenting goes. But yes, like I did tell them that your ratio for posting to commenting, it should be a higher time spent on commenting than you are posting. Recommendations for posting cadence is really between 3 to 5 times a week maximum. Like it shouldn't be more than 5. It really should never be less than 2. 3 is a good
It's a good spot.
size.
Yeah.
2 is still okay. But 1 times a week, it's still okay, but not really. Like it's still okay if you're really burnt out and you're really like you don't know what you're doing, and but the traction is not going to be as fast, especially if you're in other platforms. LinkedIn is the only one where you can really get away with 1 times a week.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Any other
Yeah.
platform, you're screwed. If you want to grow on TikTok and you're like, I'm posting 3 times a week, and like, you're never gonna grow.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
TikTok's a whole nother market. I played with that for quite a while, actually. That's where I put my focus. And it's like, I got cool interactions, like all 6 people that liked my stuff, but it was like, yeah, I'm not hitting the right vein, and I'm not really gonna grow with the target audience here. Had some cool people along the way, but it's a totally different crowd.
It's a totally different crowd, total different algorithm, totally different strategy. If you have an e-com, if you're in a product space, I would say TikTok all day long. It's such a good space.
Yeah.
Service space, especially in the boring space. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, like our healthcare one, like we've gotten them to go viral on TikTok, like 400, 500,000. I think one hit 1 million views on something really boring, right? But the thing is, like, we're not really targeting completely their audience once we go that viral. There's only so many advanced practice clinicians in the entire United States. And I guarantee you that was not all 1.2 million of them. So, it's also targeting. And I think like that's the difference between what we do for our clients and what I would do for you. Like let's say that, like I would do for Steven, or like specifically like you are the face of your brand versus like a company that doesn't want to be the face of their brand, or like wants to grow so that eventually they are the face of their brand, right?
Yeah.
Like it can be like the company lives on its own. So that's the difference. But let's keep going. And I can send you a checklist if you want.
Yeah, that might be helpful. But yeah, banner, headline, website, and then eventually following, or currently following.
Yeah. And then this one, honestly, it can be whatever you want it to be. This is the one place that I don't really do much on, is the about section, because usually, like I said, the clients that we work with, they already know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And for company pages, this is a lot more straightforward. Like for company pages that have a very, very specific niche service, it's quite straight to the point. Like, this is what we do, this is what we offer you, this is what you're gonna get. Has nothing to do with the person, has nothing to do really much with the CEO for the most part. Like maybe like a little background of like why they started it, that's it. But everything in that usually is, and usually like their marketing person usually helps us with that languaging anyways. Like I usually don't do much with the about section. So this will be up to you.
No, it's totally fair. I need to tweak it a little bit. But yeah, it's totally fair.
Okay. So I just wanted to, but I mean, it's long enough. Like usually what I comment on is like, you have like this, like it ends there. Like people are just like, they don't fill it out. To me, it's just like, it should have something. It should tell your story. It should get people to know a little bit more about you. I like the spacing. It's good to where like people can, read it and stuff. So yeah, not too many comments on that. And then the last thing is, well, actually 2 more things. Here.
Yeah.
Even though you will never use your company page, do the same thing that I did for Steven. Logan. So here, actually, I didn't do this for him. Sorry, I did this for a client, which I can't reveal here because it's recording. But sorry, I signed an NDA for that one. But this one, it leads to his company page. I thought I did it for Steven for some reason. That's weird. But so it basically leads to like a company page, but there's nothing in it. That's fine. What it does, it just gives you like a little logo right here, which makes it just gives it more substance. Like it just gives your profile more substance.
No, I need to do that. I need to update the company page so that do I even have a company page?
You don't, because if you do, this will lead there, but it doesn't.
It just leads right back to me. Okay. So create a company page for my LinkedIn so that I can at least brand it on what it is.
Yes. And you can have your logo here as well. That's the thing. That's how I know you don't have one, because this is just a regular thing. But if you had a company page, it'll show your logo.
Beautiful. Okay, cool.
And then just go through this as well. Make sure it's good. Honestly, I think it looks fine. But if you want to add things to it, you totally can. So just look through that, but not too important. Just create the company page. And then the last thing that I would say, I have to show it to you because you don't have it, is this, which is where you can put all types of links. So you can put a post that did really, really well, or a post that, you want people to know about you, but this is also where you can add additional things. So this links to your website.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a featured spot. But that will round out your profile. But I would say definitely have that before you can start posting, but the thing is, if you really have not super great profile, it can deter people, because really what landed me the most with that guy is just like their languaging, their messaging was there. It was clear, it was clean. I trusted them because their photo was there. I trusted their photo immediately. And like I said, I already showed it to you, but I can show you their website. I actually don't like their rebrand. I like their old colors better. But the messaging is the same, but this was pink before. I thought it stood out more. I don't know.
Yeah, I would way prefer the pink versus the sage. In fact, I tell some clients I work with, I'm like, you're in a very conventional industry, so you need to be very disruptive in what you're doing with your colors. And so one of them I said, you need like bright pink everywhere.
Yes. So this was pink before.
Yeah. Okay.
And it really caught my eye. I was like, oh, how do you change it to that? I don't know if I tell them that. I don't know if I'm going to release that part. But see, they have like the booking. They have a post here. Obviously, they are posting all the time. So it's like their LinkedIn profile is very, very good. And even this social proof, they used to have their pictures here, like both of them, because it's him and her kind of team. So they used to have their photo here. But even if you click into their website, it pretty much looks just like their LinkedIn. So basically, it's an arm. Like whatever you do on your social is an arm of your website. It's an arm of everything that you're creating. And it's basically an interconnected like marketing piece of everything that you do. So
cool.
That would be my my thing for your profile.
The thing for the thing.
Sorry.
The thing for the thing.
The thing for the thing, yeah.
To do a thing.
The thing, yeah. No, I say thing of that. It's so bad. But let me know if you have questions on your profile, because I'm going to go over the posts now as well.
Okay. No, it makes sense on the profile, and I need to update it. So when you ask me about the branding, nothing's really going to change on the branding colors. It's gray, charcoal, and mint green. Okay. Is what I'm sticking with for right now until further notice. Maybe I should get more disruptive, take my own advice, make it bright pink. I don't know, but
you can make it bright teal. I don't know. I'm not a branding person, but
I get a lot of compliments on the mint. People are like, I like that color. I'm like, thanks.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But I don't know that it actually helps me with any conversions. So.
I mean, to me, when I look at a color from our clients, I just want to make sure I can use it on everything. So basically, I can use it on white and black, be able to intertwine it. Mm-hmm. Right. There are some clients where I'm just like, I hate it when I have yellow in my branding, so take this with a grain of salt. But one of our clients have yellow and red and black, no white.
No.
And so
those three colors do not go in a presentation.
Well, I know that because that's like one of our hardest clients to create for.
No. Red and yellow right there screams hot dog stand. It's like, let's not do that. Or McDonald's. Again, let's not do that. Nothing against McDonald's.
They're a $1 billion company.
Love a good quarter pounder with cheese, but I don't want that for my branding, and I don't recommend people do that either.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really control their branding, so I can't really say anything. They've been in business for, I think, older than I've been, so I'm not gonna question it. But yeah, it's been really hard to create with the yellow, because it's just such a hard color. It's such a hard color, especially with red. And I've actually told my team, do not put red over yellow. It just looks like shit.
Two primary colors together, to go back to the color wheel in kindergarten. Having two primary colors together, it's really difficult to do anything with from a branding and design standpoint. It's like, that's hard. Red, great. Red and black, cool. Yellow, great. Yellow and black, cool. Yeah. Red, yellow, black. No, that's a triangle that you don't want to create. Don't do that.
It's literally like, out of all of the design, it's actually the one client I don't advertise, because he likes what we do, but I still don't love it. Like, I'm still like, there's just something that looks so off.
I'm gonna go through your connections list and find anybody with red, black, and yellow, and I'm gonna know who you're talking about now.
They're not on LinkedIn.
It's good thing.
Because that's not their target audience is not on LinkedIn, but it's just like, it's just it really is the hardest one. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, can you rebrand a little bit? Can we take out the yellow?
Everybody loves ketchup and mustard. Come on.
Right. So and the thing is, like, they're kind of, the hardest part about it is on the fun side of so they're basically a fun side, but they're also kind of in the corporate side. So it's fun and corporate.
Yeah.
But it's like corporate meaning like more professional looking, but like fun meaning like more fun. And so like they kind of have like kind of best of both worlds kind of thing. And on the fun side, you can kind of easily incorporate it a little bit more. But on the professional side, it's like, I don't know. This was a client that we've had a hard time. And I think that brings it to like your point where it's like, if the person doesn't have the right branding, the social media or any other like marketing structure, especially with the design aspect of things, it does get really, really hard. Like when you cannot play around with a color, the designs just doesn't end up in the way that you want it to end up. Like it doesn't work. And so it makes our job a lot harder.
Yeah, no, it does. People, I don't do design work anymore specifically. But I tell people you cannot have more than 3 fonts. You really shouldn't have more than 2, but you're not allowed to have more than 3, period. Like if you're really stuck on something, you can have an accent font, like repeating 3 times somewhere throughout your page maybe. But 2 fonts. And then 3 colors, probably where you should be, but they need to be contrasted and complementing. So the exception to 3 colors is you can have 4 colors, but black and white have to be 2 of them.
Yeah.
Right? And so you can have like black, white, teal, and say charcoal or gray or something like that. That's fine. Those all work together on the same spectrum. But if you're going to have like black, white, teal, and I don't know, like royal blue, that's not going to work. They're going to fight it. Like you have 2. Yeah. Anyway. So there's a lot of rules to what needs to happen. And the fun side of things, I think, is interesting because I was just talking to somebody about this because I was like, okay, so I was just going over his brand guides with him. Again, I don't create them. I just help enhance them and streamline them for what they're trying to say. But I said, okay, so people are, yes, they want professional, but they're also really craving the human element. So if you can add a layer of fun and relatability in there, do that because people are craving that right now. And rightly so, right? We've gone so far away from, we're more connected as a species. What is the word I'm looking for?
Society?
Humanity is more connected than it's ever been. Yeah, society, sure. And yet we're so far apart. Like people are starting to do those little AI created flashbacks, like, and I'm not gonna lie, some of them get me, right? Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember Walmart when it was that weird teal color and like anyway, I won't go off down that rabbit hole, but people are like, everything was interactive. Like you had people interactions. Now we go to Walmart and it's just like, I don't even know why I use Walmart as an idea. That was just like the last video I saw. And I was like, oh my gosh, that hits. Like I remember the fish tanks. Like as a kid, you go stare at the fish tank, right? And all the other kids lined up bored out of their mind because their mom's shopping for hours on end. It's the same in business. Like we haven't gone that far. And so I was talking to somebody about this because they were like, I want to, be really professional and the suit and all this. And I'm like, that's really good. Have that. But also I was like, have a picture of you that is like, wear a sweater or something. I'm like, I'm not a fashion guru here and I'm not trying to brand your personal style. But I said, have some contrast because it can't all be just like business, business, business. Even the stock images they had were like boardroom, presentation, other things. And it was just everybody in suits and everybody just stiff. And I was like, people are not loving this corporate culture right now.
Right.
He's mostly targeting US based people to work with. So people are not loving that right now because everybody's really burnt out on it. And we're missing the human element, not just the let's pretend to be corporate. And I think it's the same with your branding and your colors. To land this whole weird Walmart fish tank analogy, because that really has nothing to do with it, except people are craving nostalgia, relatability, and the human element. And I think that can be reflected in fun colors, but it has to be delivered right with the right tone and the right voice. And you can still be professional and do that. You can't really live in both worlds. You have to have the validation of we are fun, we are relatable, but we're going to get this shit done how it needs to be done. And you can trust us in that. That's the professional element that you can bring into the fun things.
Yeah.
Right. You can't we're stiff corporate 3-piece suit, but we're also really fun. It's like you can't bridge that gap from a design standpoint very well.
It's very hard.
It's really hard. Very few pull it off.
Yeah. Agreed. Because that's what I wanted for our brand was I was like, okay, like I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to be fun. Actually, our brand colors has a lot of colors. And I had to do it. Like I did not do this by myself. But I'm
gonna audit your brand colors next.
You should audit my brand colors next. I did not tell this person in case you have something bad to say about. Now I love the colors. Don't get me wrong. I love the colors. It is a little hard to design with it, if I'm being really honest. We've had a hard time kind of blending them in. But I think the biggest thing for me is that, it's like what I wanted was something that represented who I was in some ways, but I wanted it to be professional. So I wanted it to stand out. I didn't want it to be the normal colors. That was the only thing I asked for, was I wanted it to be it's not your typical colors basically. Yeah. And then it'll stand out on a feed, but then I wanted it to look professional. And as we were building it, especially when we were building it, we just kept going towards like the fun side of it. But I just kept saying, okay, it already looks very childish because of the different colors. And I said, I already look very young. And people are really like less likely to take me seriously, like as an adult because of the fun colors and the way that I look. And so it's like, we really wanted to, basically what we did was strengthen the main. So we have two fonts. One is like a professional font and one is like a fun font. We rarely ever use the fun font. Like, I don't know if I just messed up on it or not, because obviously I approved it. And it was kind of like what I was telling her. But I think like as we go on now, it's like I just want that to be like the icons. So it's kind of like the yellow and the red, black, and yellow kind of thing. It kind of ended up being the accent of the fun, and then everything else in the font is really more directed towards that main font. But yeah, like we've had a hard time actually with our own brand because of the way that it was designed. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but it is hard to create an element of it. Based off of like what the final brand designs were.
No, that makes sense. And you actually bring me to back to a point that I was going to say earlier. When you have that forbidden triangle of colors that don't necessarily play well together, don't use them all at the same time.
I'm not.
You're like, we can use that as an accent color, because a lot of times people are like, these are the colors in our brand guide, so we have to use them all. It's like, you can have up to 5 colors in your brand guide. I don't recommend it. But depending, like a lot of them are neutrals. Like I said, if you're gonna have like black, white, and gray, cool. Then you only have 2 colors in your brand guide, whatever your contrasting colors are. But you don't have to use them all the time. They just need to be, you need to have continuity in your brand, but you don't have to have every color show up every single time. So make a post that's black and red, make a post that's yellow and black.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Or use like minor, like you said, if it's gonna be all 3 colors, then it's really 2 colors and 1 small contrast color that highlights a CTA or something like that. Don't, it's like, people that are like, I want variety. And I used to see this a lot when I did graphic design many decades ago. It's like, we want to use as many fun fonts as we can. And we're done here. That's a bad thing. We're not going to do that. Comic Sans is not on the table. Stop it.
Yeah, I actually, and I might have steered her wrong also, but yeah, it was basically we don't, and the way that we do it is, let's say it's a carousel post, right? It's like one slide would almost be like this color, and then another slide would be this color, and then another slide could be like either or just like a continuation of another slide. But yeah, I'd love to. I mean, the next time I'll definitely be in your hot seat as well. So like you can definitely you can definitely break down anything and everything that you want. But for right now, I'm gonna go over your posts because we're gonna have to move certain things. But I do want to kind of highlight your post here really quickly. So definitely, if you have any reposts, go ahead and do that. It's not a bad thing to do reposts on LinkedIn specifically. It's good also if you have like something that you're like, oh, like that really resonates with me, like let me just like add my own thoughts to it. Or if it's like an SEM thing, those are also really good to repost. The reason for that is because it gains you traction just on the algorithm side of things, if you do it that way.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then obviously, like we've gone over this before, but I just want to kind of like go over it really, really quickly again. That's too much spacing.
Before it was not enough spacing, now it's too much spacing.
It's really a lot. I mean, this is a lot better than
Where's the middle, Clarice? Where's the middle?
I will show you the middle.
Not enough spacing right there, right? Boom.
Yeah, I think this one. No, this one is also.
No, definitely not that one.
I mean, like one spacing is enough. Like, I mean, it's fine. Like, I mean, if you're experimenting with it, here's the thing as well. There's no right or wrong on social media. If you did this and this is what you want your brand to be, which is like, if I see Brady's post, it's always like double spaced, then it would be that. But the thing is, you have to stick to it, you know, and it has to be a representation of you. And I guess like, sorry?
Consistency then.
Consistency, but also it's like, I guess for me, this is also why I don't do other people's brands, because it's like, because then I go into my drive mode, but it's just like, this like drives me insane.
Oh,
like that extra space.
Yeah.
And you did it on all of them.
I didn't realize that. Oh, that's all the way down. What was I doing?
Yeah. And I was like, I hate it. But I hate it so much. I don't know why. Like if that happens, because sometimes it can accidentally happen. But if my team does it or anything, I'm like, no, like redo that. Like no.
I don't like it either. If I post something, it's because I missed it. And it's a formatting in whatever I wrote this in and then copied and pasted it into my LinkedIn. The formatting changed and I didn't bother to actually proof it and correct it.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, like I said, it could be your style. Like some people will do it deliberately, but it's also look at it from this perspective. Your brand, right? Like we talk about brand all the time. Your brand is what people know you for. And so for me, the reason I hate it is because it feels like it's I either have to be doing it on purpose and it happens every single time so that people know I'm doing it on purpose, or people think she made that mistake. Like she didn't look at it. And the thing is, the biggest thing we promise our clients, I mean, there's a lot of things, but you know, learning about them and everything, but it's also attention to detail.
Yeah.
It's also saying that like, you know, this is going to be released correctly. So that's
and more so in your world than mine, but it absolutely conveys consistency and attention to detail. Because like, if I'm going to trust this person with my company to help me outline the strategy and what we're going to do, but he missed an indent on a second line all the way down, but he didn't do that on any of the other posts and the spacing isn't the same. Who's creating all of this? Like, where's the consistency in that, right? It's those mental barriers to getting to the yes. And it's most of what we do subconscious. We only use 10% of our mind. Our consciousness only takes up, I think it's 10% they're realizing of our entire mind. So when people are like, these details don't really matter, unfortunately they do. And a lot more than anybody realizes. Because it's when you look at something, you're like, I don't like that. I don't know why. Well, you do know why. You just consciously don't.
Yeah. And actually, we just did a details training. Like literally, that was our last team training that I did. Another one of ours did one on culture, but the one before that was details specifically, because that is. And I told my team, I was just like, yeah, like unfortunately or fortunately, this is what we promise our clients because that's who I am. Like I'm just so like I can see everything that could possibly be wrong before it comes out. That you know, I'm training my team to do that. And it's actually a really hard skill to train for.
No,
Somebody.
it really is. And it's funny because I don't necessarily train people on the details. I train people on creating the realms in which they need to exist. And so I'm working with a founder and she's like, I don't know who approved this social post or why they thought it was a good idea, but they've been posting this for our company and it's completely off brand. And I went, do they know what on brand is? Do they know the world in which they're allowed to play, like what the boundaries are? And they're like, well, no, but they should know enough. I'm like, there's that word, they should know by now. It's like they do or they don't, right? I call it the 3 E's: expectations, empowerment, execution. So they better be clear on what you expect from them and what the expectations are that they're trying to hit. Then empower them to take complete ownership over their role, their job, and give them all of the necessary means to accomplish it. That's where you get the best execution and the output you're looking for that is completely detail oriented. If you don't have the 3 E's, which I've just coined that phrase, I'm going to put it somewhere, TM, then you run into this problem that I see constantly. Like, well, they should have known better because they should know what we're about. I'm like, can you tell me exactly what your company does in a 30-second elevator pitch? No, most people can't. We think we know, we say something that's close to it, but we can't. So how is it that your marketing department or whoever is doing what they're doing is going to know exactly how to hit on brand? Now, if you got a bunch of typos and everything in it, that's a different story. You're just negligent and you better be using your spell check better and have somebody proofread if it's just that bad. But if it's just, I didn't send quite the right tone and voice, okay, that's a messaging issue. They either need to catch up to what's going on or you don't have a clear boundary and ecosystem in which your brand and your voice and your tone live it. So, which is really hard for most people to get because that's a very intangible thing.
Yeah. And I will say,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so that's, I'm trying to help people nail that down even tighter. And I actually need to come up with guidelines that says, okay, if it's this, then it's not that. If it's this, then it's not the other. Because you have to live within a certain period of or a certain brackets in your communications. And if you can stay within those lanes, you're golden. You can deviate all over the place and it's still gonna hit, as you know. But if you don't even know where your boundaries are or what you're trying to say, your tone and your voice, which are not the same, tone and voice, which is really hard to articulate to somebody, which I'm sure you get it, like your brand tone and your brand voice. All of it's in, at least in the world I deal in, all of it's in written content, but they are not the same thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. But also I will say that working with niche, like with someone who has a very specific niche service or product, it's so much easier to have that. And that's the thing as well. Actually, as soon as you said it, I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to audit this person's. Because that's the thing that I'm really finding myself to be really good at, is really understanding our clients and really understanding their clients, like their own customers, without them telling me all that much. Yeah. Like I really, really dig deep, and I really like, sometimes it's scary what I find on our clients or potential clients, because I don't take on clients that I don't study. I don't just go to their website. I look if they've been on a podcast. I look if they have YouTube videos. I'll actually listen to those. I'll actually see what kind of content we can play around with. I would read their blog posts. I would read, to see what are their testimonials, right? So I go through all of these things. And I think that's the one place, a lot of people ask me when I tell them I haven't heard from clients in forever, and they're like, how do you do that? It's that. I will say that is the secret sauce. I truly believe, because they trust us so much. Like the client that I tell you about, I talk about her a lot because she's on my LinkedIn. If you go on my LinkedIn, she's there. So everybody will know her. You can see what we do for them, basically. Just by clicking on that. She's the only one that's there. So that's why I talk about her the most.
Got it.
And basically, before I signed on with her, I knew nothing. I mean, I still know nothing about the healthcare space, but I knew nothing about NPs, PAs, APCs, couldn't tell you what they stood for, couldn't tell you what the differences are, right? Mm-hmm. The first thing that I did before I jumped on a call with her, so she reached out to me, I messaged her back, I asked her what her goals are, and then basically I took the time to study the client like I always do. And I was like, I know nothing about this product or service. I know nothing about it. I was just like, I'm so confused. I'm looking at their website, but I don't know what it is. And so the first thing that I did is I called my sister, who's a nurse, and I just spent 2 hours with her, ran through everything. I said, okay, so this is what the service is. This is People need it. People do that. And then this is this and that. And by the time I got on the call with her, she was just like, oh my gosh. Like, and I think if you're not doing that as a marketer, no matter what arm of marketing you're in, whether you're in email marketing, SEO, social media, if you're not doing that for your clients, then it's like, are you even researching it at all? Because, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you bring up a really interesting point. So what you're describing is building qualitative data, which most people don't, especially in the marketing space, which this is a conversation for another day, which will bring me back to the other point that I said, remind me to tell you a story later. We should just have a whole different conversation about that. But people do not look for qualitative data in marketing anymore. And so what you're describing is actually marketing strategy versus, which is not typically paired with execution marketing. Most marketers, it's like, well, what's the goal you want to hit? Okay, let's throw more money at it.
Yep.
I hear that constantly. And honestly, I've started to tell people, unless they can give you a justifiable reason or some research, or, you and I can sit down and go over it and say, okay, this makes sense. We definitely need to throw more money at the marketing budget. Don't use that marketer.
Yep.
I'm getting that to the point where I'm that blunt. Like, just let's not do that, because they don't know what the root problem is, and all their tool set is we're going to increase the ad budget or decrease the ad budget. That's necessary in cases, and I'm not trying to just smear a blank statement. I'm not even trying to smear marketers. The good marketers are good. So everything you're describing is marketing strategy using qualitative data, because you need to know what's going to be effective, what they do, speaking the language. And so many, even marketing agencies don't do it. There's no research put into it. They expect everything to be handed to them on a silver platter with a nice little bow wrapped up on top, which is part of what I do. I'm like, okay, this is what you're going for. This is tone, this is voice, this is who we are, how it matters, how, what, why, and how. So I completely agree. And it's actually very impressive. And it's something it's almost old school marketing, and it's not used anymore. And it should be used, because the strategy piece of it used to be what set you apart as a marketer and what set companies apart with their strategic advantage. I was having a conversation with a seasoned she's a marketing strategist. She's like, nobody cares about your UVP. Nobody gives a crap about your UVP anymore. And I'm like, that's so true. She's like, now competitive advantage, that's relevant. That matters. And you don't find that unless you do exactly what you just described. So points to you, because people are not doing those sort of things anymore. It's just, the internet is littered with, this is a whole nother rant, Clarisse.
No, we can definitely add to that. Maybe it can be our next conversation, actually, because I could talk about it all day long. Because actually, that's one of the things I really want people to understand about me and what makes us different. Is that, we had one client as well. As soon as I jumped on board with this, he's like, oh my gosh, you know so much already. It's like, there are people we've already paid and they still don't take the time to learn what we do, what our product is, what it does, who our clients are. And you're like, you literally like jumped on this call before you even met me, know all this about our product or service. And that's why my sales calls are never sales calls. It's literally just me saying, this is what I learned about you, because I need to know that I can market for you. I need to know that if I say yes to this, that we are the right fit, that I actually believe in what you do and your product, and that I can stand by it and say, okay, like this is what we're going to put out into the world, because I don't want to put out crap into the world. So we can definitely have a whole nother, because that one I can talk about for hours.
We should. I was just having a conversation this morning. That's where a lot of this rant comes from, because there's so many labels thrown around now, especially in the fractional space. I was talking to David. He was actually the one that brought this up to my attention. He was, and it's right. Like, he put it into words perfectly, what I'm seeing. And it's that everybody is throwing all of these, because we can say fractional now. So everybody, oh, I'm a fractional CMO. It's like I've been called a fractional CMO. I'm like, I'm not a CMO. Yeah, you're a fractional CMO. I'm like, do you know what a CMO does? Because that's not me. It's like, yes, I would love to partner with your CMO and do that, but I'm not a CMO. But there's, and like he was saying the same thing. He's like, you could have 3 CROs on a meeting and they're all going to tell you 3 different things. And so it doesn't mean anything anymore. So everybody's a fractional CRO, a fractional CMO, a fractional CFO, a fractional COO. And it's great. It sounds cool. It sounds like it carries a lot of weight, but he's right. Everybody's doing something different. And unless you're actually drilling down and figuring out what it is you're supposed to do, they're not bringing any of the strategy to it. He said the same thing. It's like, they're not bringing any strategy. They're not thinking strategically. They're just out of the box, like, oh, I'm a CMO. So if we increase your ad budget, then you're going to run more ads. It's like, that's not what a CMO should be doing for a company at all. That's not even a piece in the C-suite. Like, stop. I really want to rant on this really bad. I'm not going to. I'm going to save it for another day.
We'll definitely do it for the next one because I definitely love the topic as well. So we'll do that. Do you have a hard stop?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I just need to check one thing. Oh my gosh, that's a long message. We'll get back to that. Okay. No, I believe I'm good.
Okay. So basically we'll schedule that because I want to get through this and then I want to get to the proposition as well. So
the thing.
The thing that Steven makes fun of me for.
Now apparently I do too. And I wasn't even in on the joke.
Well, I kind of just basically told you what had happened. So I think you're already in the joke. But basically like I said, we've gone over this before already. So just not posting like
back-to-back videos wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, back-to-back videos wearing the same shirt. And then, just like you can definitely play around with text, but it definitely will have to be better than this. If it's only text, it's even more imperative that like people can just really read it rather than like there's nothing else where you can hide from. Another thing that I actually wanted to do for you is a Twitter style feed. I don't know if you've seen those from other people, or it could be like a different style as well, but just more instead of like right now you did the 3 E's, right? So instead of like pulling that video, we would pull the data from the video and it will be a design instead. Okay. So it'll just be depending on your brand as well. You can tell me if you have a preference on like what style. Like if you look up Jade's, this one, she doesn't, I don't remember. I think she doesn't do full Twitter style. There are some that do like a full Twitter style. Some people do. I think she just switched to a notebook because that was not like that before. So she did notebook, but I know she was doing something else before. I haven't been to her page in a while.
Oh, by Twitter style, you mean just like dropping?
Yeah, so just like a simple graphic. But there's some that actually do like actual Twitter style. Like I said, I don't know if you've seen those. I can't remember who has been doing them, but there's been a lot. Basically, you're taking like a Twitter or thread feed, and then you're creating like a design for it, or like things like that, right? Like things like just depending on like what you want it to be. But I think Twitter style is good for you because it's black as well. Like it would be a black background. Super simple, super easy to design. You can easily change it as well. That's the thing. I'm trying not to make this overly complicated. I just want you to be able to have a template that you can easily change up. But as you can see, even she, like at almost every creator, you'll see that they'll either stick to one specific style or they'll do like multiple different types of things. So that would be like my suggestion for you, because this is a personal brand, which like I said, not a huge fan of doing, just because it tends to get really complicated. It tends to get really like, that doesn't sound like me, that doesn't blah, 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 blah. I will say though, so let's go over this. Like I said, I didn't have time either. I was trying to get to it before it expired, but I never got to it. So all of it is expired, which is fine.
Oh, shoot. Yes, I was supposed to download. So expired meaning the content's no longer good, correct?
Yeah, like if I open this, it will just say it expired. Like you can't open the link anymore. But that's okay. So that's also why I'm gonna come to my proposition. See, since the project has expired. So that's fine. So the reason that I did that is because I really didn't want to dictate like what it is that you were doing. But the thing is, it is very time consuming. So creating content to everybody's point is very time consuming. Like even for my own brand, it's probably pretty much what I'm doing right now, because that's the way that I want to, like, I do want to start doing like outbound reach as well. But I wanted to start with content because I wanted people to get to know who I am. So look at content. yes, like there are some content that should be a funnel for you. Like that's a given for anybody that's a content creator. And it comes down to the strategy, but it should also be like, how can people get to know me so that when I do a cold outreach and they check my profile, they know who I am and they know who they're dealing with. They know how I talk. They know what kind of knowledge I have. They can trust me easily because they've already consumed content that I'm doing. Right. That's the whole point of social media, organic social media anyway. A lot of people are like leads, but it's just like, yes, you can, but I would never promise it. You can, there are ways to do it, but I would never promise it because it's in the way that you strategize your content. So at first I was actually just going to let you do what you want here. But because content is very time consuming, there's a lot to the strategy and we really are mostly done for you content. I rarely ever do a hybrid like this. But I wanted to do it because we were doing this. So I was like, okay, like I can do that. Also because these are expiring as well, because we are putting them into Opus, which is like really just the fastest way. But the thing is, because I'm not giving them to my team, there's no process. You're not in our system, like you're not in any of our database. So a lot of this is actually just stored in like the sticky post, which is like where mine is. So there's nothing, right? I've been meaning to tell you this for like the longest, since you sent me these pictures, really. I was like, I did not think you were old enough to have kids this age.
Right? Believe it or not, this photo is like 2 years old.
That's insane. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like,
my oldest daughter just turned 14.
Oh, that's so cute. But seriously, I was just like, how old is he? Like, because I was like, I thought you were kind of close to my age. Like I look younger. That's the thing. So I thought you were closer to my age.
I'm 39.
Okay, I'm early 30s.
Okay, yeah, you say you were 33, okay. Something like that. 31. Sorry. So, you know how that feels. Apologies.
Well, I did tell you early 30s, and I did say I look younger. Like if most people were to guess, they would not go in the 30s. They would always go in the 20s. Like at best. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like like I couldn't imagine having a 14-year-old child like at 32.
Yeah, that'd be wild. I could honestly, that'd be wild. It's wild at 39.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I thought we were like really close, and I thought you were like 33. So I was just like,
yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, really, because I was just like, oh my gosh, like they either had kids super young or he's just older than what I'm thinking.
Kind of both. I think we had her when I was 24. So
it's not that young.
It's not that young.
Yeah, but in my calculations, I was like, you had them in like teens or like 20.
No, not that young. My wife's younger than I am. She's actually 3 years younger than I am.
Aw.
Yeah, so.
That's cute. Well, you guys look super cute. I was just like, oh my gosh, like I honestly thought you were. You should tell that to your wife because she'll feel better. Because if she's younger than you, then
even better to the point.
So, anyways, I've been wanting to tell you that since I saw these pictures. I was just like, oh my gosh, he has teenage kids. But also, I think I'm just getting older, and I just refuse to believe it.
Right, I know. I was talking to my sister-in-law the other day because I always give her a hard time because she's slightly older than I am. And so like whatever the birthday was, I always text her that she's turning, like I usually skip ahead like 3 to 5 years. And now it's like, oh dang, we're both kind of there. That sucks.
Yeah. But so what I was thinking, so I'm gonna move all of these dates for really the New Year's. Like there's really nothing else here unless you just want to do a huge push for end of year, which I don't think you would, because even I'm having a hard time with my own content for end of year because I'm just getting like, And actually, almost all of our clients' content is pretty much done, like until the New Year's.
Well, and I've noticed too, people are really mellowing out because people are checking out early for Christmas this year. Everybody's kind of done.
Yeah.
Like, nope. Like Monday and Tuesday are just a formality this week for most
pretty
people.
much. I actually wasn't even gonna take this call. I was just like, I knew I couldn't do it last week, so I was like, okay, I can take this call. But I was just like, I need to just like have these 2 weeks where I'm still working, but I'm just like not taking on meetings. But actually, like today, I've just been on back-to-backs. It's insane. But tomorrow is my last day of taking like one last meeting. And then I think I'm free until, well, next Monday and Tuesday. And then from there, I'm also off again the last 3 days. So, but I'm going to move this to January. So let me tell you like what I'm thinking first, and then I'll tell you also the backstory of what happened to the contract that I was talking to you about, and that's why I'm gonna give you this proposition.
All right, let's hear it. I'll
So
shut up.
So basically, what we really do is done for you content. I think I understand you enough, and I'm willing to. Depends on how picky you get, but I'm willing to put up with like, okay, like this doesn't sound like me, and I'm really gonna like make sure I understand. And the thing is, we're spending so much time together. That's it. If we weren't, I wouldn't offer this, because that's like what's required of doing someone else's personal brand. It's really being around them, talking to them, learning how they speak, learning how they talk, learning their life, learning who they are. Well, the thing is, I'm learning so much about you. So, okay, like let's just put that to good use. I don't mind doing really like free work. Like let's just put that in quotations. I don't mind doing that as long as like it's being used. Does that make sense? It's like if
No, it
like
totally does.
like with Steven, if I did his banner and he didn't put it up on the thing, I'd just be like, well, why did we do that? Like, but if he put it up there, then it's like, okay, like I'm good with that. So I think like if I create this, like as long as it's, being sent out and we're actually using it, I don't mind. Like that's totally cool with me. And the thing is, I know just from personal experience, like just how much we create for our clients, just how much I create for my own self, and also just how people look at social media. It really does come last unless you want a specific branding objective. That's the thing. Like organic social media, yes, you can get leads. Don't get me wrong, that's absolutely true. But the people who benefit the most from it are people who want a personal brand or a company brand. Like people who actually like want people to get to know who they are. But other than that, it goes on the wayside. And if you're doing it on your own or you're doing it for yourself, like even here, right? It's just the copy, but it's still a lot of work. It's writing the copy, viewing the thing, scheduling it, make sure it's all scheduled. That's still a lot of time. And I understand that because, like I said, we do it for literally everybody, and I do it for my own self. And my own self almost always goes last. But if I'm being really honest, mine has always gone last. I'm trying really hard to do a huge push that mine doesn't come last anymore. But it also comes up the fact that like I've really just been able to take myself out of the execution for like our clients. Like my team really does most of the executions. I can focus on mine. We also have the process in the system. And the last thing I want to do is I want to be able to give the edits to my video editor. Like I really want to be able to actually like have it be a good video edit. I want it to actually have like the right pacing. I want it to have the right transitions. It's not just an Opus edit, but it'll be like an actual real edit that I can actually like put my name on it as well, to where it's like, if you're like, oh, who did this? It's Clarisse, and I don't say, oh, like, well, we just did a simple edit because I didn't have time and we're just doing it because of the podcast. Like I actually want to be able to say, this looks good.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
So I was thinking that we can just do it as completely done for you. I will go on here. I will write everything. I'll do everything. It's up to you. That this is the last place. It's up to you if you want to give us access or if you just want to schedule it yourself. Either or is fine. We've had clients before that has given us like direct access to their LinkedIn. It's the only way to do it on a personal brand. The only way that you can only have admin access is if it's a company page. But anything else, like we will do everything for you. Everything will be here. This is the same layer that we do for our clients. So basically, it would just have maybe like a little bit more here. This would have another tab, like another row, another column, where it will have like ready for Brady to schedule basically, or something like that, if you just want to schedule it yourself. But it would have all the links. You just have to download it, all the copy and paste. Or if you want us to schedule it, we will also gladly do that, but then you're giving us trust basically. And then you don't have to do anything at all. Those are your two options.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then that's basically the done for you content. So let me tell you why I'm presenting that. So like I said, I want to make sure that the work that we're doing is actually coming to fruition, because I know that you're so busy that like, even if I like hand everything on a silver platter sometimes to clients, it's like, they just like, even like our approval sometimes with clients that do need approval, Sometimes it takes like 2 days because it's just like, I just have to message them again saying, hey, can you just look at it? That's the thing. It's not like, it takes them like 30 seconds to approve it.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that like they just don't want to click on it, sit there, look at it, and say, okay, all good to go. But the thing is, some of them are just in such big spaces. Like I said, we have a couple of people in healthcare. We can't really just say whatever we want to say. They're looking for things that could get them sued, kind of thing. So it needs approval. They're not looking for the strategy or anything like that. But it's just like, yeah, it's like we actually have a client right now. They're super busy. They haven't approved anything. So like we've created the content. We have the content ready. It's sitting there. At least they're paying us. But I'm just like, yeah, like we can just bulk push it once you're done. But like there's the summer is their busiest month. They're barely breathing right now. But the thing is like we also bulk create and he'll only like approve like 2 or 3 or 4 and then like you won't approve the rest. And it's just like
No, that makes perfect sense. That, and you took the time to clip these up, run them through Opus, set up the schedule, and then I failed to execute by actually writing the content and posting, which I totally get. That's a fair call out. And yeah, it sucks on my end.
And it's not a problem. I think it's just more I did everything. Like that was my time. So if I can give it to my team, that would be better on me. Because then they can like, I don't mind spending money on it. It's more the time that I could obviously do something else. So I think if it's like a proper system to where it's like, I give it, I'm probably gonna write the copy on it because my team doesn't know how to do personal branding, but they can do the edits. They can clip it out of Opus. They can. I usually just mark things for them, and then usually it goes to our designer or our editor, and then comes back to me. I give comments, and then basically once that's finished, it'll go on the spreadsheet, and then we can move to Plannable as well. Plannable is like it's direct. It'll actually schedule it directly.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you want, we can do it that way also, where it's not posting directly on LinkedIn, and then you have the approval process there, and that way it's like if you hit check, it'll automatically schedule it as well. So we can also do it that way. We can test around with that. But basically it's like, I just want to be able to like hand it over to my team so that I'm only writing the copy, and I only want to write the copy because I'm going to be doing it for myself. And then basically, if I can teach someone on my team, that would be fantastic. But they're usually much better with company paid. Like none of them have ever done personal brands, I believe. So that's the only thing as far as like copywriting goes. But like I said, the reason that I'm bringing this up also is I think it'll just benefit us both as far as like time. You don't want to do it. I would rather do it. And like I said, I'm learning so much about you because we're spending so much time. And then the second thing is the contract that we talked about. I did talk to the lawyer. I followed everything that you said. I like really dug deep, and then I talked to them and I said, is there another way that we can structure this? And so they were basically like, I don't know if they're going to continue with it. I sent them the contract and it's pretty much live, but it's like, we're just going to do like a white label or referral like deal. So we just completely scrapped everything. I don't know if they're ever going to refer or white label anything to me, but we'll see. But at the very least, like if not, then I learned so much from that. But I did take pretty much all of your advice, and I took my lawyer's advice as well because he told me the same thing. He was like, "That's so aggressive," like exactly the same thing that you said. He was just like, "There's no scope of work, there's no liability on their end." And they're like, they want you to sign it this quickly. Like, it just seems like, even if what they're saying is true, there's just so many things that is like missing. And so I just wasn't comfortable at giving like 20% of my company away in perpetuity.
Yeah, with no scope of work, no expectations, nothing. There's nothing that actually would hold them to any sort of liability or execution. They just own 20% of your company, just on a wink and a handshake. Like, cool. Doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
I was going in soft on that, but I was like, no. If that's the deal, if you're just throwing out equity stake, like I'll take 20%. Cool. Like sign me up for that. What do I gotta do? Nothing. All right, sweet.
Yeah, there was nothing protecting me in the contract. So I put my big girl pants on. I was really proud of myself, actually. But thank you so much for really talking me through that. The lawyer talking me through it as well. And yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, like that helped a lot because I wasn't sure which decision to go with. But what I told you still stands. You asked me why I wanted them, and I said I just don't want to go through it by myself. Like that was really the biggest thing. Like I know I can get sales. I know that eventually I will figure out how to work everything inside my company. And eventually I know I will I will get there. But the thing is, yeah, like I just can't, I just maybe not can't, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to do it on my own anymore. I want a sounding board. I want someone to place me in the right direction. And then if I'm doing trial and errors and someone tells me like, just don't do that because that will lead to, because that was basically what they were promising me, right? Like we have the trial and errors and, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously they were promising me clients as well, all that. But it's just like the biggest thing for me, what I really wanted to get out of that was really the ability to just run my ideas by somebody, have someone point me in the right direction. I've told somebody, I think it was Heather, that I told that I've been looking for a mentor. I actually also hired her, but just looking for really somebody to just place me somewhere so I'm heading in the right direction and I'm just not so frustrated anymore, which I'm less frustrated now. I don't know how much you charge. I mean, I can tell you how much I charge. We can go at it from whatever perspective that you want. But I would love to see if you would be open to like an exchange of like basically like a done for you service versus like a consultation. And it can be like as little as you want it to be. I just really need a sounding board basically.
I got you. This makes so much sense. And I think this actually works pretty synergetically because I was actually going to ask you for some advice on some marketing on the platform side of things that I'm doing with the group. Like, okay, how can I get this a little bit further in and get more of a reach for what I'm trying to do? Because I know what I do now. How do I, like, especially with that, that's very targeted. It's less intangible, very like, this is a community, I'm bringing people into it for this purpose. It can be a mix of business owners. So I've talked to you a little bit about that, but that's kind of a side note. So I was going to ask you about that. And also backing all the way up, I actually feel terrible that I let the links expire because my December, I was like, I'm gonna hit it. It was so hard. I hit like a quarter of the things that I had planned to. The rest, I was like, wow, I way overestimated my December. And I know you put a lot of work into that. So that's actually really shitty on my part. That I was like, oh, I let those videos expire. That sucks. Because I actually didn't even expect you to do all of that for free, to be honest with you. So I was like, oh, dang, that's really generous. And then not to follow through on that, it is wasted effort. So I want to acknowledge that first and foremost. Right.
You're good, but thank you. Yeah, like I wanted to download them for you, but I also got really busy on our end. So
it's not your responsibility. I actually was like, okay, got to get in there by the 10th and do it. You even reminded me. And then I was like, oh, shoot, I didn't do that. And then I was, out of sight, out of mind. So no, that's a fair call out because I'm like, I didn't actually expect you to put that much personal time into it. When we started laying out this whole not a podcast, I actually figured you would send me like raw clips or whatever. Like, here's what Opus did. Kind of like when we started out, you're like, play with it and do whatever you want. That's like the most I expected. So I was like, I'm sink or swim, got to make up my own posts. So just wanted to acknowledge all of that first and foremost right out of the gate. Second of all, yes, I would totally be up for doing some sort of a bartering system, depending on what you need. And if you need a sound, that's what most people use me for, is a sounding board. I say strategist, and I am. We're working on like, okay, let's execute in this direction, or here's the research, or here I brought you the research because this is what I found out. So it's done with you. It's not done for you. The way I do things, it's done with you.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But yeah, let's absolutely talk about numbers as far as what you think is a fair trade. And I want to make sure that you feel like it's fair trade. And total transparency is the way I roll. So if I don't feel like it's fair trade, I'll just call you out and be like, okay, so here's the discrepancies I see in it. But I'm totally on board with discussing this and collaborating and trading service. Yeah, be happy to.
Awesome. So what I would like to do is I would like to start first because I need to understand your voice. I never produce content. So here's the thing that you need to know about me. So the reason why I did all of that is because I really don't mind pre-work at all. I love doing it because I actually love the content creation part of it. I love everything that we do. Every time I give strategy to somebody, it's so much fun. So to me, it's not a waste of time, and it's honing my skills. So that's not the problem. Like I'm good with that. Like even advising you. The thing is, like, I knew that like we're spending so much time. Like we're spending about an hour and a half a week, 2 hours sometimes because we go over sometimes, talking, creating content. The worst thing that you can do, and a lot of people do this, they create content and they never release it. Yeah. Because it's easier to create the content than it is to release the content.
100%. And you feel done. Like and I was just talking about this with somebody. I'm like, you get 80% done. You're like, I did it. I feel done. You're like, you're not done. It's the last 20% that you don't do, and you might as well not have started because you don't follow through on.
Yeah. And so that's why I was like, okay, like if we're gonna do this, I mean, I enjoy the conversation, don't get me wrong. I would still probably go on it even if we weren't creating content for it. But I'm just in this space right now. And even right now, you're doing cold outreach, right? Like, I would love to know how you do it. Like, because the thing is, I've never used LinkedIn as a cold outreach. And because we use it for company pages, the company pages doesn't do cold outreach. Like, it's
Right.
really an inbound structure. Like, everything that we do is very inbound. So I think like what we can do is like, I can help you with that inbound structure, really lay out a strategy, really say, okay, like this is what people will resonate with. Because the thing is, we use polls as well. Like, I'll shout about polls over a rooftop if I have to, but it's just like polls. I even told Michael to tell his person to start doing it because it's like the fastest way to get inbound DM leads where you're not outreach. It's just like you look at who answered, you structure the question and answer so that it relates to who you're targeting. Not every question, but some questions. And then you go into the DMs with them. And it's a very warm lead already. Hey, thanks for answering my poll, rather than you're just cold outreaching everybody. And there's no warm touch point. Right. And it's more targeted. So there's things like that. And then I would love to talk to you about your community. That one, like I said, any strategy, as long as I'm not doing it as an execution, I will gladly do for free at any time. That's the thing. Like if it's just laying it out like this and that, I don't want anything for it. Like I think it's just more the execution. I just want to make sure something's coming out on your LinkedIn, basically.
Yeah, no, my LinkedIn's been dead cold for a while. And I've even been thinking about that too, because I'm like, I'm doing cold outreach. I've got to update everything, which I'm glad we did this hot seat, because I was like, I need to update everything because I actually am trying to cold outreach to bring people back to it than to get people to, I'm just trying to create awareness. That's what I'm trying to do with cold outreach, is create awareness directly. Like, hey, you're in this space. This is what I've got going. This is what you might be interested in. And it's a very indirect, I'm not cold selling people. I don't sell, I unsell. I actually teach people that when it comes to sales. I call it my unsales method. Create value, create a solution, make awareness. The product or service sells itself at that point. But my structure socially is broken down because it never existed well in the first place. It never existed in the first place. Let me stop mincing words. So let's definitely talk about this. Yeah, because I want to figure out what would be a fair trade for you too. Do you want to keep doing the 1.5-hour meetings? Because normally I meet with people once a week in my standard engagement. I don't know if you want to go over all of this now or just pin a conversation for a later date to talk about the brass tacks of it all and how it would work.
So for me, this was the point I was trying to make a while ago, which I had completely lost. I love giving out that. Like, you have to realize with Steven, there was no exchange there. It was just, and we actually spent a lot of time because he didn't know his brand. So I basically had to like go out and be a brand strategist.
Which is ironic, right?
Be a social media person. I'm just like, no, you're supposed to tell me what you want. Like, don't make me figure it out. But we did that. His banner went through like several iterations, multiple things. It actually cost me a lot of money. But I love doing it. I don't charge for one time. I don't charge for strategy. I only charge for recurring execution. That's what I've wanted. A lot of people have always told me like charge for those things. I don't want to. Maybe I'll change later on. Maybe if you tell me. But a lot of people have told me that. So my thing first is we don't release anything that someone will not love. If you will not love what we do, if I'm not getting your tone, your brand voice, like I said, people are the hardest. So I want to make sure that I nail that first, and then we can talk. Like, because I already know what you're capable of as well. Like, just with the contract, to be honest, I was just like, oh my gosh, he's so good. Like, he asked me all the right questions. He really just like, it was like kind of like business therapy. Like, he really like pinpointed me and like, so I saw that glimpse. And the thing is, there's a difference between giving you the strategy. There's a difference between like laying it out for you and actually doing it for you. It's such a huge difference that like, you could hate my copy. You could hate like, okay, like, I don't know, that doesn't sound like me. And obviously if you say that in the beginning, that's normal. So I'm going to like take that. I'm going to tell you, okay, like, what you want to change. I'm going to study it. And then, I need to be able to use an AI at some point. So I'm going to figure out how I want to do that. But for right now, it's gonna be written. I'll
No, I
figure
get that. I've trained like my chat GPT because I'm like, okay, you know my voice, like, and what do you have questions on? I've actually trained the thing to where I can, for myself, output content where I'm like, yeah, this sounds like me. I'll make a few tweaks. I'm like, okay, that's close. I like it. And then I'll say, hey, learn from this. We need to change this, and this. But I totally get that because I'm not a big advocate of AI in general, but using it to leverage things like that, it's like, why am I writing the same stuff over and over and over again? So I've actually written out my one pagers pretty extensively lately because I was like, just need to get this documented. So that's a great point. That'll actually help you.
Yeah, if you can share it, whatever you can have the ability to share, that would be fantastic. Because I definitely don't want to write from scratch. I don't even write my own.
No, and
I don't write my own from scratch.
I really wouldn't expect you to. And it's a thing too where it's like even close counts, because if I can just get in there and make some tweaks myself, I'm okay with that. I really am. Because it's a lot to try to capture somebody else's brand voice. And I know because I've got a couple of projects where I'm working on this exact thing, not for social media output, but it's like, I don't know my brand voice. Like, okay, I'm going to help you discover your brand voice because I can't just pull it out of the ether either. I'm good at this, but I'm not that good. Nobody's that good.
But I do have also our conversations, which I can also pull from. So let me play around with that. Like I said, it's been a while. It's been a few years since I've done a personal brand. I really don't love them just because I know how picky I get with my own personal brand. And I know how picky the people I've worked with before, I know how picky they've gotten. But like I said, because we spend so much time together, I have the data. I have literally we spent an hour and a half, like all the damn time, like talking. That helps a lot. And I feel like I feel like you as a person. So I would never have offered it if I didn't think so. But I want to basically get your January put together, right? So let me put your January stuff together. It'll be after the New Year's because I'll have it ready when we meet again.
Mm-hmm.
And then you basically just tell me like what you like about it, what you don't like, where you want to tweak. And then we can play around if you want to use Plannable, if you just want to schedule on your own. And then from there, we can talk about the lay of the land, what would that look like. But I want you to be happy with what I'm going to produce first.
No, that's cool. I really respect that. Appreciate it. With me too, if it helps to get you in the mental space, my personal brand and my business brand are very parallel. In that and they say not to do this because you commoditize yourself, but just like that meeting you and I had about the contract, right? It's like I was moving really fast because I knew you had a lot of ground to cover and we only had an hour to do it in. Whereas normally I space out my engagements with people and we meet at least once a week. And then, there's email interactions and all kinds of stuff on the project back and forth throughout the week. But that's kind of what I do liked. Not super light because we really dove into it, but
we did.
Like you got a glimpse. It's like, okay, it's that plus. But that's also me. Like the reason why I've built the business around what I'm doing is because that's how I naturally think. And that's been all my career skill sets in the different positions I've always been in relatively the same position in the different industries I've been in. And so I put it together and now I'm like calling it business therapy because people are like, what is this? Well, the truth is it's a combination between operations and branding with a focus on UX and CX, if I was to put it in technical terms. But it's all asking the question of what the heck are you building, or what the heck are you trying to accomplish? Why does it matter? And then figuring out how to do that. And that's what we're doing with you in the contract. So you're like, personal brand, like, oh, I'm not a content creator. I'm not out there for the sake of myself, but I am the business. Like I'm selling my brain, so to speak.
Yep.
And my perspectives and helping other people like walk them through their own clarity, to find their own clarity, walking them through their own businesses to find their own clarity, right? You're the expert at what you do. I never claim to know better about your business than you do. So it's for me, it is a personal brand because I am what I'm selling in the sense that I want people to be able to relate to me and they're hiring me. But it's also the business, Steer Creative. I'm not trying to sell it as a firm yet. Originally, I was going to build it out as a firm, but then I was like, I don't know how to duplicate me yet. And people are not totally understanding this particular brand of what I'm selling yet. And which is still the case, even after this many years doing it, it's still the case. So I guess I'm not really making this sound less intimidating. I think I'm accidentally making this sound more intimidating. But I've got some one pagers. We can break it down, but I'm not too worried about blending my personal voice and my professional voice. Because for me, I feel like, and you could tell me otherwise, you're the social media professional, but I'm okay with putting both out there. One time it's going to be really strict, like hammering down on like this is not marketing, this is not branding, this is not a good UX or whatever it is, and getting really technical in the piece. And other times just being like really light and personal branded about it. But it's the duality that exists in our businesses that most business owners actually don't address. That you don't exist in two different places. So I'm not super worried about hard lines. I think we can come up with those goalposts like I was talking about earlier pretty simply and pretty quickly for what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah. No, I think you're good. I mean, I'm gonna look at your previous posts anyway. I'm gonna look at everything. So that's like also
I won't give you a great idea because there aren't that many of them. It's my consistency.
That's why I said, send me whatever you have, and then I'm also gonna use what we have because it everything that we're probably gonna post is gonna come from this content anyway. With a little bit of like, especially once we start, then I'll see your process as well, which means I can dig deeper into like what that looks like and, like what kind of questions should you be asking and what the posts should really be in terms of just like that inbound, but also just in branding specifically, because especially if you're trying to build a community, a lot of it will come from content.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And that's the part that I'm coming up on even harder than I'm lacking because I'm not getting negative pushback. It's just I don't have very much validation. I'm like, oh man, I should have been working on this years ago to get to this point because this was an end goal anyway. So that makes sense. Yeah, and on your side of things, you're looking for the strategy piece meets advisory, strategic advisory.
Yeah, like I think it's just more, like we're trying to scale right now.
Scale.
We're trying to grow right now.
Until I come up with a better word for it, it's the word.
Sorry, we're trying to grow scale right now. And I think I just, instead of just asking ChatGPT what I should be doing kind of thing, it should be like, I just want to talk to people in general about it and really just have, like I said, I've always looked for a mentor, never really found one. I've always looked for just people that can help. I've hired people before. I've hired a salesperson before. I've had several salesperson before. It's just like, I think I just
want that for a while too.
Sorry?
I said I could go off on that for a while too.
Oh gosh,
sales.
Yeah.
I've done sales. I've been in sales I did sales for a decade, like sink or swim, eat what you kill. I've done sales and I know exactly how I'm unwilling to do sales and how I've been very effective in doing sales, but that's my unsales method. We could talk all about that. Yeah.
No, that could be another topic that we definitely talk about. And also like, I never sell. That's the thing. I never sell. Like I jump on a call. I tell you what I love about you, what I love about your company, what I love about your customers. Here's the research I've done. Here's how we're going to restructure, basically give an audit. And really by the end of it, they're like, how much? And then I say how much and they're like, yes. And then that also makes me think I'm actually undercharging. So you can also take a guess. Yeah. So you can tell me that. I actually think I'm charging quite a lot, but it's just like, I don't know, everybody keeps saying yes. So it's like, I don't know. So yeah, like you can, I can run you through that structure and you can tell me, okay, like this is where you want to go. Cause I mean, I even ran it through ChatGPT. I was just like, cause my goal is 33K months. And I told them like our average like retainer is like around 800 because it's like 2 posts a week.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, that's 40 something clients. And I didn't even realize that. I was like, oh my gosh, like, you're right. I would have to have that many clients. That's insane. Like, maybe I should like look at like going back to like a higher retainer client rather than taking on the smaller ones or medium ones. And it's just like, I don't know, just having somebody to talk to basically.
Totally get it. Totally get it. And this is what I do. This is absolutely what I do. So we talk about, again, I'm not a CRO, but I break down that sales piece of it. I'm not a CMO, but your numbers have to make sense CFO, but your numbers have to make sense. I'm not a CMO, but so David called me a CXO because he's like, you're that X that kind of floats in between everything. And I'm like, I don't do everything, but I do actually touch everything in the organizational pillars. To some degree. So this makes perfect sense. So you're looking at it in terms of how you want to scale, how you want to grow the business. And to say, I want to get there is great, but then you need to actually map out a strategy to say, okay, but what does getting there look like? Which is, and you've heard, everybody kind of looks at me sideways. So I'm like, I need to change my pitch on SEN because I'm like, if you figure out what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it, then the how you're trying to do it actually gets answered. And that's, these two create the goal. Once we understand what the goal is, now we have to create tangible benchmarks. And I call them OKRs. Well, they are OKRs, the objectives and the key results. So to give you an example, you're like, I want to do 33K months. Okay, we have an objective. Key results are when we have X amount of clients. Okay, how many clients do we need? We need this many clients. Okay, what does the engagement structure look like? It looks like this. Okay, at this price. Great. So we've got the financials worked out. Now let's look at the operations. Is that executable? Can my team actually handle that kind of load? No. Okay, there's variables that we have to move. So everything's in a triangle. I call it the project management triangle because you've got time, money, and resources. Resources are usually people. Time is, what is the time frame that we're trying to complete the goal within, and or what are the variables that we have as far as time being a commodity, and then money. Obviously, what's your budget to do that? And so never does it stay a perfect triangle. One of these dots is going to get moved out somewhere. Usually 2 out of these 3 dots are going to get moved out somewhere, and you're going to have the most obtuse looking triangle. But if it fits the model and it functions, then those dots are going to move however far out, as long as we can track that and understand what we're trying to accomplish. That was what I mean by when I said we were going over that contract life. So it's like, okay, we've got a number, 20% of your equity. What we don't have is what kind of return they're going to bring. We do have a time bound that in 2 years they're going to buy out probably and ask for 20% equity stake in your company, be cashed out. That could kill your company, depending on the position you're in. That could, like, pulling 20% of your revenue right out the bottom is not necessarily sustainable. So I'm looking at all these things going, we have too many things floating around. I don't know how to move these dots yet. And until those are actually solidified, it's just an open-ended of, we have an objective, but we have no key results tying us to knowing when we have achieved that objective. Because the objective is the goal. I want to make 33K a month. Great. You could do that in 30 years, but I don't know if that's the objective, right? That's not a key result. That's not a time-bound key result we're looking for. You're like, I want to do it in 3 years. Cool. I want to do it in a year. Okay, we have to get really aggressive with our resources and our budget, probably. It's not all down to the numbers. It's really not. So it's your team tooled up to do it. Can your operations handle it? What's your mindset for it? Is your sales ready to go? You are the person selling because your team is support for you. Awesome. We need to work on that piece alone. Like, that takes an undisclosed period of time because it just depends on what you want to do before we can get it figured out. So it sounds really daunting. A lot of it, I warn people, is like, we work on a lot of the intangibles up front. It's not the things that are facts. It's all of the things that are floating around that we haven't pinned down in your business. Once we have those kind of pinned down, then we can start creating a pretty good roadmap. And goals, revenue goals are a byproduct of everything else, and which you've heard me say this before. So revenues are a byproduct of having everything else in play that we need to have in play. We don't know what we need to have in play yet because we haven't pinned it down. And it's really hard to do it when it's all in your own head. And ChatGPT is wonderful. I also hate it, but it's also wonderful. So it's a really duality relationship between me and ChatGPT. But it can only go so far. It really can. And so I totally get the human element of it. So yeah, let's talk about what that looks like. I do have to jump off here in a minute.
Yeah, same.
As I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, same. Actually, I just moved the meeting that I had with my team to another minute. But let me finish this out. So I'll give you January, and then just let me know when you want to meet again, and then we can discuss the things. And then we'll also do the 15 the episode as well. Okay. But I'm free anytime between the 5th through the 8th.
I believe I'm pretty open there too. We could 5th. My calendar's doing this fun thing where it's just not loading. There we go. Did that to me earlier today too. My Monday the 5th is wide open.
Okay.
At this point currently. So if you prefer that, I'm on board for that.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff on Tuesday that is hit and miss. Oh, I have a 6:30 a.m. That's fun.
Oh my. No,
I must have put that in Argentina.
Monday is fine. Let me change my to PST. What time is good for you?
I mean, 8 o'clock on, I'm open PST.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
Let's do 10 a.m. PST. Is that good with you?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Let me change this.
That's
And
perfect.
then what was the name of the topic that you wanted to do? Sorry.
Oh my gosh, we are so far back on that.
Because you said it a while ago, but I couldn't remember what it was.
I think I was just kind of going off on how there's so many, really it was the marketing and understanding the strategy versus kind of let's increase your ad budget, and how there are so many people trying to dominate the fractional space, but they're not really understanding what role in the C-suite does. I remember talking about that. I'll look back through the notes.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna send this now. And then I'll also have everything ready for you here. It's probably going to look kind of similar because my team's mostly off. I think my video editor is working, so I'm going to try and get that in. But I'm not going to flesh it out completely because I need to see what your thoughts are. That's the thing. And then from here, we can go. Because I don't want to create it and then you hate it and have to redo everything. Usually I try to redo lightly in the beginning.
I feel like I need to give you some outlines for goals too, of what the objectives that I'm trying to create for my LinkedIn are. And so, yeah, even at this point, if there was a way to, is there a way to get that footage? I know we can't get the clips back, or can we?
Say that again.
Like the footage that expired, because I hate to waste any of the content that we've recorded, or do we just need to run it back through like Opus or something?
I'm gonna run it back through Opus.
I was gonna say I was gonna download Opus too, because I played with it a little bit. It's really sweet. And for that early stuff, I'm like, okay, I just kind of need to get stuff out there. Done is better than perfect. And then we can talk about doing more of a polished presentation, because I don't want you to do it twice. I really don't. I need to actually get back to, I actually have myself on schedule to do LinkedIn, and December just went to shit, to be honest. Like my alarm goes off every day and I'm in the middle of something else. I'm like, not doing that today. I have literally time blocked out LinkedIn and have not been sticking to it.
Well, then let me do that. Let me have what I have there, put that for January, write for it. I'm just going to like try and like I'm going to re-download the Opus clips. I'm just going to take the best ones. And then from there, we should have a little bit more mix anyway, because I'm probably just going to do all of them because our Opus credits are also expiring. So I'm just going to like dump everything in there so that we can also run through our Opus credits because it doesn't roll over. And then from there, like I'll just take it. I might give it to my editor. I might not, just depending on time and if she's available.
Don't give it to your editor yet. Like, don't worry about that. If I could just jump in, like, don't worry about it, because I don't want to do more work. Like, you've already did a lot, and I really appreciate it. And so I don't actually want you to do double the work. If you are up for running those videos through Opus, just throw me the clips. I'll watch through them. I'll pick through them. Like, I know that Opus rates it, and so it's like, hey, most likely, and here's the topic, and so. Just kind of like you did originally, just dumped it into a drive and was like, hey, do whatever you want with these. This is the raw. I'm fine with that. Like, let's do that. And then let's you and I actually put the effort into mapping out what you want to do for an engagement through your business. Yeah. And then let's map out what my goals are for my business. And then make that barter work for both of us. Okay. Rather than pile more work on your plate by the end of the year, because I really don't want to do that. Like I really don't want to do that. Not just because I feel bad. I'm like, no, I know what that feels like. I'm scheduling back-to-back meetings today and tomorrow because I'm trying to get it all like so that I can chill for the next 5 days, hopefully. I don't want to do that to somebody else. And it kind of, okay, so my ADHD brain is like, no, you need to finish that, dummy. You said you were going to do that. Finish it. So I'm like, just give me the raw clip. I'll actually follow through with it. Don't spend any more time on it.
Okay. I will upload it to Opus. I'll give you the link to Opus. If you have Opus, you should be able to open it. But just so you know, the reason that I do go through it together with you, with mine, is because I have to watch the videos to see which ones I can use for me. And with that, I end up watching yours. So that's also why I'm just like, it doesn't really create much work. But I will do that. And then whatever you decide to do. But I'm just going to lay it out for January. I'll change the dates and then just give you a little bit more pointers. And then we can go from there. So I will talk to you about it in January 5th.
Okay. That'll work. Yeah, let's like clean slate going forward. I would love to, again, just capture some of those raw videos. I can even update the schedule and get myself back on track, put my big boy pants on, get myself back on track. You already created the whole template. So it's what to do is put some dates and write some content. Like that's, like you said, it's not that hard. Yeah, so that'll work. And then I'll totally tag you in it, and I'll be like, thanks so much, sticky posts. And no, I'm just kidding. In case it's cringeworthy, you're like, no, don't tag me in that, please. I'm totally on board with tagging you in it. Maybe I'll post it, and then you can be like, yeah, that's cool. Like, give me just a thumbs up or something, and then I'll be like at sticky post or at Clarisse. Because I don't want to not tag you in things, but I don't want to give you credit if you're like, no, that's still, I don't want to put my name on that. I totally respect that. I'm like raw data dump right now. Done is better than perfect. And then let's worry about polishing it up later. And then people will be like, oh wow, stuff's gotten so much better. Sticky post really is good. Like we can, I'm not gonna be insulted if you're like, don't put my name on any of that. Cool.
That's true. That's true. It is part of my strategy that at one point we do put everything together. But as of right now, everything that I was creating was separate. And then I wanted to do something together because it's really hard to get footage on Google with together. That's why I never did it. That's why I wanted to do it the other way, because the other way it's easier to get the actual footage for the two of us. So we can talk about that in the strategy, but I'll get all of those clips over to you. Probably not today because I'm just in another meeting and then I'm done. And I think I'm just gonna crash outside and just hang out with my parents. But I'm working tomorrow, so I'm gonna put it on my list for tomorrow. I'll keep you as updated as possible. I will be working. I just don't want to take on meetings for these next 2 weeks. That's why I didn't take on meetings. But other than that, I can't wait to like see you in the next year. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. Have a happy everything. Say hi to your family for me. And really appreciate you. Just like, I really love our talks, to be honest. I'm glad we started it because even if we weren't creating content out of it, which we definitely will and should, it really just feels good to just have someone to talk to where it's just like, these are our thoughts. We can say whatever we want. There's no filters. And it's just like, this is business. Like, this is like business, but it's also like relationship of like what a business should be, which is just like, it shouldn't be this, but it should be holistic. Like, it's just nice. It's just nice to have like conversations with you like this.
No, I totally feel the same. Totally appreciate it and totally get that. Yeah, absolutely. And no, same to you. I hope you and the fam have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And yeah, don't stress on getting me that stuff. Like, it's winding down time. I'm doing a hard push tomorrow to knock out a lot of stuff, including projects for clients, as well as back-to-back meetings. Because everybody's like, well, the holidays, we got to get it done, Monday, Tuesday. I'm like, fair. Okay, let's do it. Because God forbid we wait till, the following Monday.
Same.
So yeah, don't make that a priority because like I said, because I do want to put it up, and so I don't want that work to be in vain again. So don't make a hard push and then be like, you didn't get it up till after Christmas, because I'm probably not gonna.
Yeah. No, I understand.
So don't even put it on your radar for this week.
Well, I need it for my content too. I let it expire for mine too. Like, I have just been doing more photo content, so it's like I knew I needed to push the reels because otherwise, if I don't, like, it's really just videos are the hardest ones to produce out. It really is. So if I don't do it, I'm also not going. And Heather also did one. I haven't released it yet. So it's like, I also need to put myself together. But either way, I'm going to for sure be there for you every step of the way. Don't feel bad if I do extra work. I'm just like that. But other than that, really appreciate you. And I actually have to move my meeting because this is with my team, but we have our one-on-ones, like our end of year one-on-ones. So actually it's over like 15 minutes.
All right, perfect. Well, have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy your last meeting of the day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, you too. Bye.